All right, guys. Well, hopefully you had a safe and happy 4th of July weekend. Hopefully you had a relaxing time, got some sunshine, not too much sun. It's currently in the middle of a freaking heat wave here, and I have my fan turned off just so I could record this video. But we have got some breaking news. Right now, this is about almost 10 o'clock at night, Sunday night. And apparently, it has been announced by Kotaku Australia that they are shutting down. Now, real quick, this is not clickbait. We are not talking about the US-based Kotaku. This is the affiliate over in Australia through what's called the Pedestrian Group, which has licensed the ability to have a Kotaku satellite essentially in Australia. But this is huge news and the implications are massive. Now, before we get into my article here, there is some basis to, needing to understand the difference between Kotaku and Kotaku Australia. To my knowledge, from what I've seen over the last few months of really paying attention to the articles coming out of Kotaku, all the controversy with people like Alyssa Mercante and all the other psychopaths like Carolyn Pettit, Kotaku Australia has never really gotten into the drama. They've never, from what I've seen, gotten too much into the politics, the ideologies, the weird, back and forth with gamers and attacking straight white males. This seems to be more of a US-based issue when it comes to Kotaku. So that being said, the article here that I have on minimaleffort.shop says, in a move that should surprise nobody, it has been announced via Twitter X that the Australian affiliates for Vice, Gizmodo, Refinery29, Kotaku, and Lifehacker will no longer publish in Australia. And again, this is very important because a lot of these companies are owned by places like Geo Media, which is a conglomerate. They own all these different outlets. Then they can license them out to places like Pedestrian Group over in Australia. So they have a Gizmodo Australia, a Vice Australia, and those are all getting cut, shut down. The jobs are getting cut. Article goes on to say this is reportedly part of a plan to restructure and cut costs for the Australia-based Pedestrian Group, with dozens of jobs getting slashed in the process. And you can see over here Ben Grubb saying Gizmodo, Lifehacker, and Kotaku will no longer be published in Australia as part of a major restructure and cost-cutting effort by Nine-owned Pedestrian Group. And of course, that was from the Sydney Morning Herald. Matt Rowley, CEO of Pedestrian Group, made the announcement on Monday morning. We've made the tough decision to focus on our wholly owned pedestrian brands where we control the strategy, the content, the product, the sales, and the outcome of the entire business, he said. This will have an impact on roles within the group, and I appreciate the uncertainty this change creates, so we will be in contact immediately with those people. Alex Walker on Twitter saying, incredibly upset at hearing the fate of the local Gizmodo, Lifehacker, Kotaku, Vice, and Refinery29 publications. All the people who ever went through those publications put their heart and soul into them. Yeah, I'm not so sure about that. Frequently in spite of some of the challenges they faced. This is not a games journalism friendly channel here. We are not fans of journalists. If there are decent ones out there, like I've mentioned before, Eric Kane over at Forbes, there are some decent ones that work for some outlets. My heart goes out to them. But overall, this is what needs to happen in games media. Among the people being let go from Kotaku Australia is managing editor David Smith, who has landed himself a spot on YouTuber SmashJT's Kotaku Detected site. Most noteworthy was his call to have gamers hardware banned for saying things in voice chat that could be construed as abuse or hardware. And of course, you can see his tweet right here when this chick Taylor Morgan essentially, from what it looks like in the video, goaded a gamer into saying some reprehensible things and then recorded it for content and put it out there like he was going after her unprovoked. David Smith then said, ban guys like this for life. I don't give a shit. Hardware ban them and ban them for life. Men have to start speaking up when we hear this shit in game or nothing will ever improve. Lead by example. And like I mentioned before, over here on SmashJT, you've got David Smith, managing editor at Kotaku Australia. So then we go on to say, while there are likely many good people who work for these companies that must now start to search for new employment, this is undoubtedly a step in the right direction for game journalism as a whole. Geo Media owned Kotaku has been in an all-out war against gamers, going back most notably to the beginning of the Sweet Baby Inc. controversy, aka Gamergate 2. And again, this is the video that Old Man Grim had shared on Twitter originally of Alyssa Mercante having her Frosk moment. And again, this I think really puts a pin in the fact that Kotaku knows they have problems, and I think there are people that license them out as well, like Pedestrian Group over in Australia knows that this is a toxic brand that they want to distance themselves from. This puts the target squarely on the back of other games media conglomerates, many of whom have faced layoffs and cutbacks over the years due to their inability to reach gamers as an audience. This is in large part due to several of the journalists' own hostile nature towards gamers as a whole, such as the constant attacks and psychotic outbursts by Alyssa Mercante, senior editor at Kotaku. And again, I found this amazing tweet from her back from 2023 just while actually searching for a lot of this information. about how when she read Jezebel every single day as a young burgeoning feminist whore, it shaped her and her voice. Just a complete psychopath, guys. It's also worth mentioning that Kotaku is still in search for an editor-in-chief, someone who would be directly in charge of the activists and ideologues who've been running the insane asylum the past few months. What long-term effects will the Australian closures mean for Kotaku and its parent company, GO Media? Only time will tell. Unfortunately for the so-called games journalists, time is not on their side. And that's the article that I've written up. A lot of people have been sharing it around. I appreciate you guys for doing that. But again, these people are all deranged. And the funniest part is that Alyssa Mercante, I'll even refresh this. This is about 4 hours since this started breaking. It's not that late. If she's even in New York, I'm sure she's awake. Not a single tweet or reply about any of this stuff yet. I'll be curious to see if she offers any heartfelt sympathies to her coworkers tomorrow, but as of right now, no mention of any of the closures from Alyssa Mercante. And like I mentioned, no news of this on GO Media's website either. In fact, GO Media hasn't even updated their website as far as their latest news since January 30th of this year. And of course, that GO Media job for editor-in-chief of Kotaku is still open. So hopefully Stutter and Craig over at Side Scrollers Podcast gets a call back, because maybe he'll have a new job starting Monday. Who knows? Alright guys, that being said, make sure you check out Meta PCs. I've got a link down below. Save yourself a little bit of money. They got the 4th of July sale going on. Make sure to check out the website that's got my article on there. I've also got some merchandise. We've got some other cool stuff on there. All my videos go on the website. Thanks for being here, and I will see you guys later. Alright, and if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you for being here. I do have 2 channels, Minimal Effort Podcast, as well as my gaming channel. I do have a Twitch and Kick for my gaming channel. We do live streams over there occasionally, maybe once a week. And then if you are in the market for a new PC, make sure to check out Meta PCs. Click the link I have down below. Use code TBO at checkout for a special discount. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.